We have lost objective Duff.
Hello viewers, welcome to watch another of my gameplay videos. This time I'll be adding a commentary about the recent policy change concerning YouTube and video monetization, and that's going to be a big issue. Most likely this heated debate and I guess discussion around this policy and things surrounding it will most likely continue. Okay, that was not good from my perspective, but what it really means that certain type of content is not going to be, you're not going to be able to monetize your content if it is one of the selected.
We have lost objective butter.
So for instance, let's say vulgar language or cursing is anti-advertisement, so to speak, so it's violence, so there is no telling what will happen to these kinds of games and gameplay commentaries if this kind of video game violence and shooting with blood effects is deemed violent enough. Even though this is not an R-rated game, I hope so. And pretty young players are playing those games nonetheless, so that's not going to have an issue there, but you can't. Well, what can you expect at this point? It might be that some of the heated topics that are considered insensitive, some of the violence and display of violence and graphic imagery, such as the act of killing, whether it's simulation or
we are losing
simulation to the effect it can be a movie scene, so it's acted, and there's real life footage these days of the, let's say, executions and that kind of stuff, and all the things surrounding that, and news commentary about those things.
We have lost objective Duff.
It's kind of subtle form of,
we lost objective Charlie.
We are not making sure that everyone who's willing to play ball, they have to be open society compliant, as it was shown to be the case with the recent leak of George Soros' Open Society Foundation. This shadowy hand controlling the discussion and talking points and all that, and they wanted to make internet and try to regulate internet in favor of these open society values, and I guess that would call the recent phenomena such as social justice warriors and some of the radical feminists and Black Lives Matter and that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff would be a no-go, so you couldn't dissect any of those or criticize them or ridicule them, or so that's pretty much end of any kind of, well, you can't do comedy anymore, so it'll have a chilling effect. At least when it comes to YouTube, it'll still mean also lots of views and might encourage some tech-savvy people to in a sense to create a forum for the conservative or the free speech community that that isn't as exclusive as this open society. You're not supposed to criticize in any form or shape. That's something that is being fed to us. It's the kind of open society that's not open for discussion and criticism, but that kind of a Orwellian society, in fact. But that's been the talking point in these past few days, and social media has been in turmoil, I guess, and this just adds up to the number of cases in which YouTube and other social media sites have fumbled with the public relations approach, and same goes with Twitter with its own policy shaping and the certain control groups that so supposedly are in charge of moderating the discussion and that kind of stuff. So that's nothing new. Then there's the corporate element about the bullying people by preventing monetization and saying that it's copyright strike and that kind of stuff, and there's that kind of it's something it's almost like bullying, some of it is like trolling and bringing just being a nuisance to others, and then there's these predatory consortiums and all kinds of copyright offices that like to make claim on anything and basically try to force you into some kind of a settlement over something on which they don't have the rights, but they're just well, that's one kind of the stuff that happens online. It's not an even playing field. It's not a free market, that's to say, because Google and those, they do have the private platforms and they can make up the rules, but they shouldn't be allowed to pretend to be same rules for everybody, because that's not the case, and it will never be the case. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to have some kind of division between like having a liberal and conservative forums, like in the US the media is strictly divided, and there's now's the alternative media, which is a bit better, but still something is part of this digital revolution, all this, and how the conventional media is losing its power, and therefore these new public spaces online are kind of important.
We are losing objective Duff.
So there's no telling what will happen to Battlefield games, and people monetize Battlefield videos with so much graphic violence in them, and pretty much anything like that. And will Google or YouTube eventually decide to retract and discontinue this flawed policy they're pursuing, which clearly puts some people in a disadvantage, and we can, at this point, we can say that it's not censorship per se, but kind of underhanded method trying to silence people with different opinions and trying to narrow down the field of views and impressions and opinions down to, and it is hoped to have some kind of social chilling effect, and it serves as a template following the Chinese social ranking model and what they try to achieve, and how how at some future point some of the bigger players would like to privatize the internet in the sense that you have to have an internet ID and no anonymity or whatsoever.
We have lost objective George.
But I guess still at this point it's the consumer who has the most power over this, and if YouTube and Google decides that that's the price they want to pay, and they don't really, at this point they don't really need money, they just want to control the social environment and the policy and
We have taken objective Freddy.
basically control the society and shape its future form and that kind of stuff. Maybe that's the kind of power they're after, and everything just I would say step by step and incrementally are not on a worldwide scale, but on local arenas. It's going to be, everything's going to be shifted into some kind of a weird, well, it's already weird. We cannot really say and vouch for something if we haven't been to like in China, where you have social media controls and other states with high ranking social control. Well, that was early on my 2 cents on it, and I expect they are not going to back down. Not at least in a quick, evasive manner, but we'll have to see if there's something big comes around. And so far they seem to be adamant and won't be giving in. And soon it might be really time that they feel that the social control aspect is more prevalent than the corporate profits, and that's the price they want to pay.